Chapter 5, Fliss. I hope Lottie's okay, I really do. I've been away for 2 weeks, and I haven't heard one word from her. She hasn't answered any of my friendly texts, and the last phone call we had was when she was planning to fly to San Francisco and surprise Richard. And unfortunate choices go, that one took the biscuit. Thank goodness I headed it off. But since then, nothing. I've tried leaving voicemails as well as texting, but no response. I did manage to get through to her intern, who assured me that she was coming into work every day. So at least I know she's alive and well, but it's not like Lottie to be incommunicado. It troubles me. I'll go around and see her tonight, make sure she's okay. I pull out my phone and send her yet another text. Hi, how's it going? ? Then I put it away and surveyed the school playground. It's thronging with parents, children, nannies, dogs, and toddlers on scooters. It's the first day of term, so there are lots of tan faces and shiny shoes and new haircuts. And that's just the mothers. Fliss, a voice greets me as we get out of the car. It's Anna, another mother. She's clutching a Tupperware container in one hand and a dog lead in the other, at the end of which her Labrador is itching to get away. How are you? Hi, Noah. Been meaning to have that coffee. Love to, I nod. Anna and I talk about having coffee every time we see each other, which should be getting on for 2 years now, and it hasn't yet happened, but somehow that doesn't matter. Somehow that's not the point. That bloody travel project, Anna is saying as we walk toward the school entrance. I was up at 5 a.m. finishing that off. Up your street, I suppose, travel. She gives a cheerful laugh. What travel project? You know, the art thing? She gestures to her container. We did a plane, utterly lame. We covered a toy with silver foil, hardly homemade, but I said to Charlie, Sweetie, Mrs. Hawking won't know there's a toy underneath. What travel project, I say again. You know, make a vehicle or whatever. They're showing them all off at assembly. Charlie, come on, the bell's rung. What bloody travel project? As I approach Mrs. Hawking, I can see another mother, Jane Langridge, standing in front of her, holding out a model of a cruise ship. It's made out of balsa wood and paper. It has 3 funnels and rows of little portholes cut out perfectly and teeny clay figures on top, sunbathing around the blue-painted swimming pool. I stare at it, speechless in awe. I'm so sorry, Mrs. Hawking, Jane is saying. Some of the paint is still wet. We've had such fun making it, haven't we, Joshua? Hello, Mrs. Phipps, calls out Mrs. Hawking cheerfully. Nice holiday. Mrs. Phipps sets my teeth on edge every time I'm addressed this way. I haven't got round to becoming Ms. Graveney for school purposes. Truth is, I'm unsure what to do. I don't want to unsettle Noah. I don't want to make a big deal of rejecting his surname. I like having the same name as Noah. It feels homey and right. I should have chosen a brand new surname when he was born, just for us, divorce-proof. Mommy, did you bring the hot air balloon? Noah is peering up at me anxiously. Have we got the hot air balloon? I stare at him blankly. I have no idea what he's talking about. Noah told us he was making a hot air balloon. Super idea. Mrs. Hawking descends on us, beaming. She's a woman in her 60s who lives in tapered trousers. She's so cool and unhurried. I inevitably feel like a gabbling lunatic next to her. Now her eyes rest on my empty hands. Do you have it? Do I look like I have a hot air balloon about my person? Not on me, I hear myself saying. Not exactly on me. Her smile fades. Well, if there's Any chance you could get it to us this morning, Mrs. Phipps? We're setting up the display for assembly. Right, of course, I flash her a confident smile. I just need to... One tiny detail. Let me just talk to Noah a moment. I draw him away and bend down. Which hot air balloon, darling? My hot air balloon for the travel project, says Noah, as though it's obvious. We have to bring them in today. Right, it's nearly killing me staying bright and breezy. I didn't know you had a project. You never mentioned it. I forgot, he nods, but remember we had a letter. What happened to the letter? Daddy put it in his fruit bowl. I feel a volcanic surge of fury. I knew it. I bloody knew it. Right, I see. I grind my fingernails into my palms. Daddy didn't tell me there was a project. What a pity. And we talked about what to make, and Daddy said, what about a hot air balloon? Noah's eyes start to gleam. Daddy said we would get a balloon and cover it with paper mache and make a basket and people and ropes and paint it. And the people could be Batman. His little cheeks are glowing with excitement. Has he made it? He looks at me expectantly. Have you got it? I'll just check. My smile feels glued into place. Play on the climbing frame a moment. I step away and speed dial Daniel. Daniel, it's Fliss. I cut him off evenly. Are you, by any chance, speeding toward the school holding a papier-mâché hot air balloon with Batman in the basket? There's quite a long pause. Oh, Daniel says at last. Shit, sorry. He doesn't sound remotely concerned. I want to kill him. No, not... Oh, shit, sorry. You can't do this, Daniel. It's not fair on Noah. It's not fair on me. And Fliss, relax. It's just some little school project. It's not little. To Noah, it's huge. It's your... I break off, breathing fast. He'll never get it. There's no point wasting breath. I'm on my own. Fine, Daniel. Whatever. I'll sort it. I switch off before he can answer. I'm feeling a red heat of determination. I'm not going to let Noah down. He's going to have his hot air balloon. I can do this. Come on. I bleep open the car and snap up the lid of my briefcase. I've got a tiny cardboard gift bag in there from some fancy lunch. That can be the basket. Shoelaces out of my gym cross trainers will be the ropes. I grab a sheet of paper and pen from my briefcase and beckon Noah over. I'm just going to finish off our hot air balloon, I say brightly. Why don't you draw Batman to put in the basket? As Noah starts drawing, leaning on the car seat, I swiftly take out my shoelaces. They're brown and speckled. They'll make perfect ropes. I've got some scotch tape in the glove compartment, and for the balloon itself... Bloody hell. What can I use? It's not like I travel around with packets of balloons on the off chance that a ridiculous, unspeakable idea grabs me. I could always... No way, I can't. 5 minutes later, I approach Mrs. Hawking, nonchalantly holding Noah's project. The mother standing around gradually falls silent. In fact, it feels as though the whole playground has fallen silent. That's Batman! Noah is pointing to the basket proudly. I drew him. All the children are looking at Batman. All the mothers are looking at the balloon. It's a blown-up Durex Featherlight Ultra. It inflated to quite an impressive size. And the teat on the end is bobbing in the breeze. And I hear a sudden snort from Anna. But when I look around sharply, all I can see are innocent expressions. Goodness, Noah, says Mrs. Hawking faintly. What a big balloon. That's obscene, snaps Jane, clutching her boat to her. As though for protection. This is a school, in case you'd forgotten. There are children here. And as far as they're concerned, this is a perfectly innocent balloon. I retort. My husband let me down. I turn apologetically to Mrs. Hawking. I didn't have much time. It's very good, Mrs. Phipps. Mrs. Hawking rallies herself. What a creative use of... What if bursts, says Jane. I've got spares, I shoot back triumphantly, and proffer the rest of my Durex variety pack, splayed out like a pack of cards. A moment too late, I realize how this looks, my cheeks flaming. I surreptitiously adjust my hand to cover up the words ribbed for extra pleasure and lube and stimulation. My fingers are doing a starfish impression, trying to censor the condom packets. I think we'll be able to find a balloon for Noah in the classroom, Mrs. Phipps. Mrs. Hawking says at last. I'd keep those yourself, or... She hesitates, clearly searching for a way to finish her sentence. Absolutely, I hastily head her off. Good idea, I'll use them for... Exactly. That, I mean, not, I laughed shrilly. Actually, I probably won't use them at all, or at least I am responsible, obviously. I trail away into silence. I've just shared details of my condom use with my son's teacher. I'm not sure how that happened. Anyway, I add in bright desperation, so I'll take those away now and use them for some other purpose, or for some purpose or other. Hastily, I stuff the condoms back in my bag, dropping a Pleasure Max and diving for it before any of the 7-year-olds can reach it. All the other mothers are staring, jaw-dropped, as though they've witnessed a car crash. I hope the assembly goes well. Have a lovely day, Noah. I hand him the hot air balloon with a kiss, then swivel on my heel and march away, breathing hard. I wait until I'm on the road, then dial Barnaby from the car phone. Barnaby, I launch in. You will not believe what Daniel just did. Noah had a school project with Daniel, Daniel didn't say a word about. Fliss, says Barnaby patiently, calm down. I had to hand a blown-up condom to Noah's teacher. It was supposed to be a hot air balloon. I can hear Barnaby bursting into laughter down the line. It wasn't funny. He's a shit. He pretends to care, but he's totally selfish. He lets Noah down. Fliss, Barnaby's voice is suddenly harder and stops me in my tracks. This has to stop. What has to stop? I stare at the speakerphone. The daily rant. I'm going to say something to you now, as an old friend. If you keep going on like this, you'll drive everyone insane, including yourself. Shit happens, okay? But it happens, Fliss, he pauses, and it doesn't help to stir it up again and again. You need to move on, get a life. Go on a date without mentioning your ex-husband's underpants. What are you talking about? I say evasively. It was a date. I can hear Barnaby's frustration bursting through the phone. You were supposed to flirt with Nathan, not open up your laptop and read out your entire divorce dossier. I didn't read out the entire thing. I finger my memory stick defensively. We were just talking and I happened to mention it. And he seemed interested. He wasn't interested. He was being polite. Apparently you ranted for 5 solid minutes about Daniel's underwear. That's a total exaggeration, I retort hotly. But my face has flamed. Maybe it was 5 minutes. I'd had a bit to drink by that stage. And there's a lot to say about Daniel's underwear, none of it good. Do you remember our first appointment, Fliss? Barnaby continues relentlessly. You said whatever you did, you wouldn't end up bitter. I gasp at his use of the B word. I'm not. I'm angry. Regretful. I search my mind for further acceptable emotions. I'm rueful, sad, philosophical. The word Nathan used was bitter. I'm not bitter, I almost yell at him. I think I would know if I was bitter or not. There's silence at the other end. I'm breathing fast. My hands feel sweaty around the steering wheel. I'm flashing back to my date with Nathan. I thought I was talking about Daniel in an amusing, detached, ironic way. Nathan never said a word to indicate he wasn't having a good time. Is that what everyone's been doing? Humoring me. Okay, I say at last. Well, now I know. Thanks for the heads up. Anytime. Barnaby's cheerful voice resounds through the car. Before you say it, I am your friend, and I do love you lots, but this is what you need. Tough love, Fliss. I'll talk to you soon. He rings off, and I signal left, chewing my bottom lip and glaring darkly at the road. It's all very well. When I get to work, I can see my inbox is full, but I sit at my desk, staring blindly at my computer. Barnaby's words have stung me more than I want to admit to myself. I'm turning into a bitter, twisted hag. I'm going to end up a gnarled old crone in a black hood who scowls at the world and battles her way along the street, hitting people with her stick and refusing to smile at the neighborhood children who run away, terrified. Worst case scenario. After a bit, I reach for the phone and call Lottie's office number. Maybe we can buoy each other up. The girl who answers is Dolly, Lottie's junior. Oh, hi, Dolly, I say. Is Lottie about? She's out shopping. Don't know when she'll be back. Shopping? I blink at the phone in surprise. I know Lottie sometimes gets frustrated with her job, but to go out shopping and blatantly tell your junior is really not the way to go in this economic climate. Any idea when she'll be back? Dunno. She's buying stuff for her honeymoon. Stiffen. Did I hear that right? Honeymoon? As in honeymoon? Did you just say, I swallow, Dolly, is Lottie getting married? Didn't you know? I've been away. I can hardly speak. Oh my gosh. Please say I rang and congratulations. I put down the phone and beam elatedly around the empty office. My gloomy mood has vanished. I want to dance. Lottie's engaged. It goes to show some things in the world do go right in the end. But how? How? What happened? Did she fly out to San Francisco after all? Or did he fly back? Or did they call each other? What? I text her. You're engaged? ? I'm expecting radio silence again, but a moment later she replies, yes, ! Was waiting to tell you all about it, ! OMG, what happened? All very fast, still can't believe it. He came back into my life out of nowhere, asked me in a restaurant, had no idea he would. Absolute whirlwind. I have to talk to her. I call her mobile number, but it's engaged. Damn. I'll get myself a coffee, then try again. As I head to our in-house cost outlet, I can't stop beaming. In fact, I'm so happy I really want to cry, but editors at Pincher International don't cry at work, so I'll settle for hugging myself. Richard is perfect. He's everything I could ever have wanted for Lottie, which sounds motherly, but then I do feel motherly toward her. Always have. Our own parents both kind of gave up on the job, what with the divorce and the alcohol and the affairs with loaded businessmen and South African beauty queens. Put it this way, we were left alone a lot. Lottie is 5 years younger than me, and, well, before her mother died, she started turning to me when things went wrong. And as mother figure / sister / possible chief bridesmaid, ? In parentheses, I could not be more thrilled that Richard's joining our strange little family unit. For a start, he's good looking, but not to die for. This is important, I think. You want your sister to land a sex god in her own eyes, but you don't want to be lusting after him yourself. I mean, how would I feel if Lottie brought Johnny Depp home? I try to examine my thoughts honestly in the privacy of my own head. Yes, I would be unable to stay sisterly. I would probably try to steal him. I would feel like all bets were off. But Richard isn't Johnny Depp. He's handsome, don't get me wrong, but not overly handsome, not gay handsome, which that awful Jamie was, always preening and competing over carbs. Richard's a man. To my eye, he sometimes looks like a younger Pierce Brosnan and sometimes like a younger Gordon Brown, parentheses, although I think I'm the only one who can see the Gordon Brown thing. I mentioned the resemblance to Lottie once, and she got quite offended, close parentheses. I know he's good at his job. Obviously, when he first started dating Lottie, I asked around all my city contacts for the lowdown on him. I also know he can have a short fuse and once bawled out his team so hugely, he had to take them all out to lunch to apologize, but he's also good-natured. The first time I ever saw him, he was holding an armchair which Lottie wanted moved in her flat. She was wandering around the sitting room saying, "There. No, there. Ooh, what about there?" And he just held that big, heavy chair patiently while she dithered around, and I caught his eye, and he grinned, and I knew. This is the right guy for Lottie. I want to jump up and down. I'm so happy. After all the shit of my divorce, we needed something good to come our way. So how did it happen? What did he say? I want to know everything. As I head back to my desk, I impatiently dial her number again, and this time she answers. "Hi, Fliss." "Lottie!" I erupt with excitement. "Congratulations! Amazing news. I can't believe it." I know. She sounds even more euphoric than I was expecting. Richard must have swept her off her feet. So when I sit down at my desk and sip my coffee, 2 weeks ago, it still hasn't really sunk in. Details, well, he just contacted me out of the blue. Lottie gives an exhilarated laugh. I couldn't believe it. I thought I'd never see him again, let alone this. If he proposed 2 weeks ago, that means he'd been gone for a day, max. He must have landed at San Francisco and turned right around. Good work, Richard. And what did he say? Did he get down on one knee? Yes. He said he'd always loved me, and he wanted to be with me. And then he asked me to marry him about 10 times, and at last I said yes. Her elation bubbles over again. Can you believe it? I sigh happily and take another sip of coffee. It's so romantic. It's so dreamy. I wonder if I could Skype my British Airways press conference and take Lottie out for a celebratory lunch. So, what else? I probed for more details. Did you give him the ring? Well, no. Lottie sounds drawn up short. Of course not. Thank goodness for that. I was never into the ring idea. You just decided not to in the end? It didn't even occur to me. To my surprise, she sounds pained. I mean, the ring was for Richard. What do you mean? I blink at the phone, not following. Well, I bought the ring for Richard. She sounds quite put out. It would be weird giving it to someone else, don't you think? I try to answer, but my thoughts have jammed, as though a pencil's fallen into a smoothly whirring machine. What's this? Someone else? I open my mouth to reply, then close it again. Did I hear wrong? Is she using some figure of speech? So, I proceed warily, feeling as though I'm speaking a foreign language. You bought the ring for Richard, but you didn't give it to him? I'm only trying to work out what she meant. I'm not expecting her to flip out on me, as though I've single-handedly ruined her day. Fliss, you know I didn't. Gosh, you could be a bit more sensitive. Her voice rises shrilly. I'm trying to start afresh here. I'm trying to embark on a whole new life with Ben. You don't have to bring up Richard. Ben? I'm completely confused. I think I'm going mad. Who's Ben and what does he have to do with this? Look, Lottie, don't get upset, but I really don't understand. I told you just now in my text, can't you read? You said you were engaged. A terrible feeling grips me. Is this all some massive misunderstanding? Are you not engaged? Yes, of course I'm engaged. To Ben. Who the fuck is Ben? I yell, more loudly than I meant to. Elise looks in at the door curiously, and I shoot her an apologetic smile, mouthing, "It's okay." There's silence at the end of the phone. "Oh," says Lottie, at last. "Sorry, I just looked back at my text. I thought I'd told you. I'm not marrying Richard. I'm marrying Ben. Remember Ben?" "No, I do not remember Ben," I say, feeling increasingly frazzled. "That's right, you never met him. Well, he was my gap year boyfriend in Greece, and he's come back into my life, and we're getting married." I feel as though the ceiling has caved in. She was marrying Richard. It all made sense. Now she's running off with some guy called Ben. I don't even know where to start. Lots. I mean, how can you be getting married to him? A thought suddenly comes to me. Is this a visa thing? No, it's not a visa thing. She sounds indignant. It's love. You love this guy Ben enough to marry him. I can't believe I'm having this conversation. Yes. When exactly did he come back into your life? 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I repeat calmly, although I want to burst into hysterical laughter. After how long? 15 years, she sounds defiant. And before you ask me, yes, I have thought it through. Okay, well, congratulations. I'm sure Ben's wonderful. He's amazing. You'll love him. He's good looking, and he's fun, and we're totally connected. Great. Look, let's meet up for lunch, okay? And we can talk about it. I'm overreacting. I tell myself I simply have to adjust to this new situation. Maybe this guy Ben is perfect for Lottie, and it will all work out brilliantly. As long as they have a nice long engagement and don't rush into anything. Shall we meet at Selfridges? Lottie says. I'm there now, actually. I'm buying honeymoon underwear. Yes, I heard. So, when were you planning to get married? Tomorrow, she says happily. We wanted to do it as soon as possible. Can you take the day off? Tomorrow? She's gone mad. Let's stay there. I can hardly get the words out. I'll come and meet you. I think we should have a talk. I should never have relaxed. I should never have gone on holiday. I should have realized Lottie wouldn't rest till she'd found something to channel all her hurt energy into. And it's this, a marriage. By the time I get to Selfridges, my heart is thumping and I have a head full of questions. Lottie, on the other hand, has a basket full of underwear. No, not underwear, sex kit. She's standing looking at a transparent basket as I hurtle toward her, almost knocking over a rail of Princess Tam Tam teddies. As she sees me, she holds it up. What do you think? I eye the stuff in her basket. She's clearly been at the agent provocateur concession. There's lots of black see-through lace, and is that an eye mask? What do you think? She says impatiently and jiggles the basket at me. It's quite expensive. Shall I try it on? Isn't there a slightly bigger question we should be discussing? I want to yell. Like, who is this Ben, and why are you marrying him? But if I know one thing about Lottie, it's that I need to play things carefully. I need to talk her down. So, I say as brightly as I can, you're getting married to someone I've never met. You'll meet him at the wedding. You'll love him, Fliss. Her eyes are shiny as she tosses the transparent mask into her basket and adds a teeny tongue. I can't believe everything's worked out so perfectly. I'm so happy. Right, wonderful, me too. I leave a tiny pause before adding, although, just a thought, do you need to get married so soon? Couldn't you have a long engagement and plan everything properly? There's nothing to plan. It's all going to be so easy. Chelsea Register Office, lunch at some lovely place, simple and romantic. You're going to be bridesmaid, I hope. She squeezes my arm, then reaches for another basque. There's something extra weird about her. I survey her, trying to work out what's different. She's got that post-breakup manic air about her, but even more than usual. Her eyes are overbright. She's hyper. It's been a dealer. Is she on something? So Ben just contacted you out of the blue? He got in touch and we had dinner, and it was as though we'd never been apart. We were so in tune with each other, she sighs blissfully. He'd been in love with me for 15 years. 15 years. And I'd been in love with him too. That's why we want to get married quickly. We've wasted enough time already, Fliss. Her voice throbs dramatically as though she's in a TV true life movie. We want to get on with the rest of our life. What? Okay, this is bollocks. Lottie has not been in love with someone called Ben for the last 15 years. I think I might know if she had. You've been in love with him the last 15 years. I can't help challenging her. Funny that you never mentioned him at all. I loved him inside. She clasps a hand to her side. Here. Maybe I didn't tell you about it. Maybe I don't tell you everything. She defiantly throws a garter belt into her basket. Have you got a photo of him? Not on me, but he's gorgeous. I want you to give a speech, by the way, she adds blithely. You're chief bridesmaid / best woman, and Ben's best man is his friend Lorcan. It'll just be the four of us at the ceremony. I stare at her in exasperation. I was planning to be tactful and go softly. But I can't. This is all too crazy. Lottie, I plant a hand on the packet of stockings she was about to pick up. Stop. And listen a moment. I know you don't want to hear this, but you have to. I wait until she reluctantly turns her eyes toward me. You split up from Richard about 5 minutes ago. You were about to commit to him. You'd bought him an engagement ring. You said you loved him. Now you're rushing off with some guy you barely know. Is this really a good idea? Well, it's a good thing I did split up from Richard. A very good thing. Lottie is suddenly bristling like a cat. I've done a lot of thinking, Fliss. And I realized Richard was all wrong for me. All wrong. I need someone romantic. Someone who can feel. Someone who will put himself out there for me, you know. Richard's a nice guy, and I thought I loved him, but now I realize the truth. He's limited. She spits out limited as though it's the worst insult she can come up with. What do you mean, limited? I can't help feeling a bit defensive on Richard's behalf. He's narrow, he has no style, he'd never make some huge, reckless, wonderful gesture. He'd never come and find a girl after 15 years and tell her that life was darkness without her, and now he wants to turn on the switch. Her chin juts defiantly, and I give an inward grimace. Was that Ben's line? He wanted to turn on the switch. I mean, I do sympathize. I had a couple of terrible, misjudged rebound flings after Daniel and I separated, but I didn't marry one of them. Look, Lottie, I try a different tack. I do understand, I know what it's like. You're hurt, you're confused. An old boyfriend comes along out of the blue. Of course, you're going to fall into bed with him, it's natural. But why do you have to get married? You're wrong, she retorts with a triumphant look. You are so wrong, Fliss. I didn't fall into bed with him, and I'm not going to. I'm saving myself for the honeymoon. What? Of all the things I expected to hear, it wasn't this. I stare at Lottie blankly, unable to find an answer. Where is my sister, and what has this man done with her? You're saving yourself, I echo at last, but why? Is he Amish? I suddenly fear the worst. Is he from some kind of cult? Did he promise you enlightenment? Please don't tell me she's handed over all her money, not again. Of course not. So why? So I'll have the hottest sex ever on my honeymoon night. She grabs the stockings. We know we're good together, so why not save up for the moment? It's our wedding night. It should be special as it can possibly be. She gives a sudden wriggle, as though she can't contain herself. And believe me, it will be. Gosh, Fliss, he's so hot, we can barely keep our hands off each other. It's like we're 18 again. I stare at her, all the pieces falling into place. Her shiny eyes make sense. The basket of underwear makes sense. She's raring to go. This engagement is one great big session of foreplay. Why didn't I realize this straight away? She is drugged up on lust, and not only lust, teenage lust. She has the same look about her as teenagers snogging at the bus stop, as though the rest of the world doesn't exist. For a moment, I feel a stab of envy. I wouldn't mind disappearing into a bubble of teenage lust, quite frankly. But I have to stay rational here. I have to be the voice of reason. Lottie, listen, I'm trying to speak slowly and clearly to penetrate her trance. You don't have to get married. You could just take a hotel suite somewhere. I want to get married. Humming to herself, she chucks another expensive negligee into her basket, and I suppress the desire to scream. It's all very well. But if she took off the lust goggles for one bloody moment, maybe she'd see how much this escapade is potentially going to end up costing her. A shed load of underwear, a marriage, a honeymoon, a divorce, all for one epic night of shagging, which she could have for free. I know what you're thinking. She looks up at me resentfully. You could be happy for me. I'm trying to be, really I am. I really am. I rub my head, but it makes no sense. You're doing everything the wrong way round. Am I? She turns on me. Who says so? Isn't this the traditional way? Lottie, you're being ludicrous. I'm starting to feel angry. This is no way to start a marriage, okay? A marriage is a serious legal thing. I know, she cuts me off. And I want to make it work, and this is the way. I'm not stupid, Fliss. She folds her arms. I have thought about this, you know. My love life has been a disaster. It's followed the same old pattern with man after man. Sex, love, no marriage. Over and over. Well, now I have a chance to do it differently. I'm reversing the strategy. Love, marriage, sex. But it's nuts. I can't help erupting. The whole thing's nuts. You must see that. No, I don't, she retorts hotly. I see a brilliant answer to the whole problem. It's retro. It's tried and tested. Did Queen Victoria have sex before she married Albert? And was their marriage a huge success? Did she love him desperately and build a great big memorial to him in Hyde Park? Exactly. Did Romeo and Juliet have sex before they got married? But did Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy have sex before they got married? Her eyes flash at me as though this proves everything. Oh, please. If she's going to use Mr. Darcy to prop up her arguments, I give up. Fair enough, I say at last. You got me there, Mr. Darcy. I need to back off for now and come up with a different angle. So who's this Lorcan? A new idea has come to me. Who's this best man of Ben's you mentioned? Presumably Ben's best man won't be any wilder than I am about this sudden out-of-the-blue marriage. Maybe we can join forces. Dunno, she waves vaguely. Some old friend works with him. Where? The company is called something like Decree. And what does Ben do exactly? Dunno. She holds up a pair of knickers that untie at the back. Something or other. I resist an urge to yell, "You're getting married to him and you don't even know what he does." I get out my BlackBerry and type in Ben Lorcan Decree? ? What's Ben's surname? Parr. I'll be Lottie Parr. Isn't that lovely? Ben Parr. I tap at my BlackBerry, peer at the screen, and do a fake gasp. Oh, goodness, I forgot all about that. Actually, Lottie, I'm not sure I've got time for lunch after all. I'd better go. Have fun shopping. I give her a hug. Talk to you later. And congratulations. My bright smile lasts all the way out of the underwear department. Before I've even got to the lifts, I'm on Google, typing Ben Parr. Ben Parr, my potential new brother-in-law. Who the hell is he? By the time I get back to my office, I've Googled Ben Parr as extensively as I can manage on my phone. But I haven't found any company called Decree, only a bunch of entries about a Ben Parr who does stand-up comedy. Badly, according to the reviews. Is that him? Great. A failed stand-up. My favorite kind of brother-in-law. At last, I find an entry which mentions a Ben Parr in a news item about a paper company called Dupree Sanders. He has some made-up title like Strategic Overview Consultant. I type in Ben Parr Dupree Sanders and a million new entries appear. Dupree Sanders is clearly a thing, a big company. Here's the home page. And sure enough, a page pops up with his picture and a little bio, which I scan. Having worked with his father as a young man, Ben Parr was delighted to rejoin Dupree Sanders in 2011 in a strategic role, genuine passion for the business. Since his father's death, he is even more dedicated to the future of the company. I lean toward the screen and scan the photo intently, trying to get a sense of this man who is zooming like a torpedo toward being related to me. He's good looking, I'll have to agree. Boyish looking. Slim, affable. Not sure about his mouth. It looks kind of weak. After a bit, the pixels start to dance in front of my eyes, so I sit back and type in Lorcan Dupree Sanders. A moment later, another page pops up with the photo of a very different looking man. Dark, thrusting hair, black eyebrows, and a frown. Strong, slightly beaky nose. He looks fairly forbidding. Underneath the picture it says Lorcan Adamson, extension 310. Lorcan Adamson practiced law in London before joining Dupree Sanders in 2008. Responsible for many initiatives, developed the luxury stationery brand Papermaker, worked with the National Trust to expand the visitor center, committed to sustainable, responsible industry, a lawyer. Let's hope he's the rational, reasonable type, not the arrogant asshole type. I dial the number, simultaneously clicking on my emails. Lorcan Adamson. The voice that answers is so deep and gravelly, I drop my mouse in surprise. Surely that's not a real voice, it sounds made up. Hello, he says again, and I stifle a giggle. This guy has a film trailer voice. It's that deep down, rumbly subwoofer voice you hear as you're scarfing down popcorn waiting for your movie to begin. We thought the world was safe. We thought the universe was ours till they came. Hello, the gravelly voice comes again. In a desperate fight against time, one girl must break the code. Hi, I try to assemble my thoughts. Is this Lorcan Adamson? I'd say. From Academy Award-winning director. No, stop, Fliss. Concentrate. Right, yes, I hastily composed myself. Well, I think we need to speak. My name is Felicity Graveney. My sister is called Lottie. There's a sudden animation to his voice. Well, excuse my French, but what the fuck is going on here? Ben just called me. Apparently he and your sister are getting married. Two things I pick up straight away. First, he has a faint Scottish accent. Second, he's not keen on the whole marriage idea either. Thank goodness, another voice of reason. Exactly, I say, and your best man. I have no idea how this came about, but I was thinking maybe we could get together and what? Plan the table decorations? He talks right over me. I have no idea how your sister talked Ben into this ridiculous plan, but I'm afraid I'm going to do everything I can to stop it, whether you and your sister like it or not. I stare at the phone. What did he say? I work with Ben, and this is a crucial time for him, Lorcan presses on. He can't just zoom off on some ludicrous spur-of-the-moment honeymoon. He has responsibilities, he has commitments. Now, I don't know your sister's motivation. What? I'm so outraged, I don't know where to start. Excuse me? He sounds puzzled that I've dared to interrupt. Oh, he's one of those. Okay, mister. Instantly, I feel stupid for saying mister. But too late now. Better blow on. First of all, my sister didn't talk anybody into anything. I think you'll find your friend arrived out of the blue and bamboozled her into getting married. And second, if you think I phoned you up to plan the table and decorations, you're very much mistaken. I'm intending to put a stop to this marriage myself, with or without your help. I see. He sounds skeptical. Is Ben saying that Lottie talked him into it? I demand, because if so, he's lying. Not as much, says Lorcan after a pause, but Ben can be, what shall we say, easily swayed. Easily swayed? I retort furiously. If anyone was doing any swaying, he was. My sister's at a low point. She's very vulnerable. And she doesn't need some chancer coming along. I'm so half expecting this Ben character to belong to some weirdo cult or timeshare pyramid scheme. I mean, what's his job? I don't know anything about him. You don't know his background. Again, he sounds skeptical. Gosh, this guy is pissing me off. I know nothing, except he met my sister on her gap year, and they had a teenage shag fest, and now he says he's always loved her, and they're planning to get married tomorrow and resume the teenage shag fest, and he works for Dupree Sanders. He owns Dupree Sanders, Lorcan corrects me. What? I say stupidly. I don't even know what Dupree Sanders is exactly. I didn't stop to check it out. As of his father's death a year ago, Ben is the major shareholder in Dupree Sanders, a paper manufacturing company worth £30 million, and for what it's worth, his life has been complicated, and he's also pretty vulnerable. As I digest his words, a boiling hot fury starts to rise within me. You think my sister's a gold digger? I erupt. That's what you think. I have never been so insulted in all my life. The arrogant, conceited shit. I'm breathing faster and faster, staring daggers at his screen face. I didn't say that, he counters calmly. Just listen to me, Mr. Adamson, I say in my iciest tones. Let's look at the facts, shall we? Your precious friend talked my sister into a ridiculous rushed marriage, not the other way round. How do you know she isn't an heiress worth even more? How do you know we're not related to the Gettys? Touche, says Lorcan after a pause. Are you? Of course we're not, I say impatiently. The point is, you jump to conclusions. Surprising for a lawyer. There's another silence. I get the feeling I've needled him. Well, good. Okay, he says finally, I apologize. I didn't mean to imply anything about your sister. Maybe she and Ben are a match made in heaven. But that doesn't change the fact that we have some very big stuff happening at the company. Ben needs to be available in the UK now. If he wants to go on honeymoon, we'll have to do it later. Or never, I put in. Or never. Indeed. Lorcan sounds amused. You're not a fan of Ben, then? I've never even met him, but this has been a useful chat. It's all I needed to know. Leave it with me. I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it, he contradicts me. I'll talk to Ben. Gosh, this guy is winding me up. Who says he should be in charge? I'll talk to Lottie, I counter, as authoritatively as I can. I'll fix it. I'm sure that won't be necessary. He talks straight across me. I'll speak to Ben. The whole thing will be forgotten. I'll talk to Lottie, I repeat, ignoring him, and I'll let you know when I've sorted everything out. There's silence. Neither of us is going to concede, I can tell. Right, says Lorcan at last. Well, goodbye. Goodbye. I put down the receiver, then grab my mobile and dial Lottie's mobile. No more Ms. Nice Sister. I am stopping this marriage. Right here, right now. Chapter 6, Fliss. I can't believe she's ignored me for a full 24 hours. She's got some nerve. It's the following afternoon. The wedding is due to start in an hour, and I still haven't spoken to Lottie. She's sidestepped my every call, approximately 100 of them. But at the same time, she's managed to leave a whole series of messages on my phone about the registry office and the restaurant and meeting for pre-wedding drinks at Bluebird. A purple satin bridesmaid's dress arrived at my office at lunchtime. By bike. A poem arrived by email, along with a request for me to read it aloud during the ceremony. It will make our day so special. She doesn't fool me. There's a reason she's not been taking my calls. She feels defensive. which means I'm with a chance. Which means I'm in with a chance. I know I can talk her out of this nonsense. I just need to work out exactly where her vulnerability is and exploit it. As I arrive at Bluebird, I can see her already sitting at the bar in a cream lace mini dress with roses in her hair and adorable vintage-style shoes with button straps. She looks radiantly beautiful, and for a moment I feel bad coming in to derail her. But no, someone has to stay sane around here. She won't be looking so radiant when she's being billed for her decreanacy. Noah's not with me. He's having a sleepover with his friend Sebastian. I fibbed to Lottie, saying it was really special and he would be so sorry to miss the wedding. The real reason is that I'm not intending for there to be any wedding. Lottie has spotted me and waves to get my attention. I wave back and approach with an innocent smile. I'm walking into the paddock quietly, unthreateningly, the halter hidden behind my back. I'm the bride whisperer. You look gorgeous. As I reach Lottie, I give her a huge hug. How exciting. What a happy day. Lottie scans my face without replying, which proves I'm right. She's on the defensive. But I keep my smile steady as though I haven't noticed a thing. I thought you weren't keen on the idea, she says at last. What? I act shocked. Of course I'm keen on the idea. I was just surprised, but I'm sure Ben is absolutely wonderful and you'll be happy for many, many years. I hold my breath. She's visibly relaxing. Her guard is coming down. Yes, she says. Yes, we will. Well, sit down. Have some champagne. Here's your bouquet. She hands me a little cluster of roses. Wow, fabulous. She pours me a glass, and I raise it in a toast. And then I glance at my watch. 55 minutes to go. I need to get cracking on the derailment strategy. So, any honeymoon plans? I say casually. You probably didn't manage to book anywhere at such short notice. What a shame. A honeymoon is such a special time. You want it to be perfect. If you'd held on a few weeks, I could have helped you arrange something amazing. In fact, shall we do that? I put down my glass as though seized by a brilliant new idea. Lottie, let's put off the wedding just a teensy bit and have fun planning the perfect honeymoon for you. Don't worry, says Lottie happily. We already have the perfect honeymoon arranged. One night at the Savoy and then off tomorrow. Really? I get ready to trumpet. Where are you going then? We're going back to Iconos, back to where we met. Isn't it perfect? To a backpacker's guest house. I stare at her. No, silly, to that amazing hotel. The Amba, the one with the waterfall. Didn't you review it? Damn, the Amba is pretty untrumpable. It opened 3 years ago, and we've reviewed it twice since then. 5 stars each time. It's the most spectacular place in the Cyclades and was voted top honeymoon destination 2 years running. Since then, it's already become just a touch tacky, truth be told. It's been flooded with celebrity couples and Hello magazine photo shoots, and it plays to the honeymoon market too strongly if you ask me. Still, it remains an amazing world-class hotel. I'll need to work hard to talk her out of it. The only thing about the Amba is you have to be on the best side. I shake my head gloomily. At such short notice, they probably shoved you in that awful side wing. There's no sun, and it smells. You'll be miserable. I suddenly brightened. I know. Wait a few weeks and let me call in a favor. I can get you the oyster suite, I'm sure. Honestly, lass, the bed alone is worth waiting for. It's massive, with a glass dome above so you can see the stars. You have to have it. I proffer my phone. Why don't you call Ben and say you want to put things off only for a few weeks? But we've got the oyster suite, Lottie interrupts me joyfully. It's all booked. We're having a bespoke honeymoon with our own private butler and treatments every day and a day on the hotel yacht. What? I stare at her, my phone dangling limply in my hand. How? There is a cancellation, she beams. Ben uses some special concierge service and they've fixed it up. Isn't it great? Marvelous, I say after a pause. Super. Ikonos is so special to us. She's bubbling over. I mean, it's been totally ruined, I'm sure. When we were there, they didn't even have an airport, let alone any big hotels. We had to get there by boat, but still it'll be like going back in time. I can't wait. There's no point pushing this one any further. I sip my champagne, thinking hard. Have you got a vintage Rolls Royce today? I try a different tack. You always wanted a vintage Rolls Royce for your wedding. No, she shrugs. I can walk. But what a shame. I put on a stricken expression. It was your dream to have a vintage Rolls Royce. If you just waited a bit, you could have one. Fliss, Lottie gives me a gently chatting smile. Aren't you being rather shallow? The important thing is love. Finding a life partner, not some random car, don't you think? Of course, I smile back tightly. Okay, leave the car. Try another approach. Dress? No. She's wearing a lovely dress. Wedding gifts list? No. She's not that materialistic. So, will there be any hymns at the wedding? I ask at last. There's silence, quite a long silence. I stare at Lottie in sudden hope. Her face has tightened. We're not allowed hymns, she says at last, and looks down into her drink. You can't have them at a registry office wedding? Yes, bingo. No hymns? I raise a hand to my mouth in horror, as though I hadn't known this all along. But how can you have a wedding without hymns? What about I vow to thee my country? You were always going to have that at your wedding. Lottie was in the choir at our boarding school. She used to sing solos. Music was a big deal to her. I should have started with this tack first. Well, it's not important, she smiles briefly, but her whole demeanor has changed. What does Ben think? Ben's not really into hymns, she says after a pause. Ben's not really into hymns. I want to whoop. This is it, her Achilles heel. I have her like putty in my hands. I vow to thee my country. I start singing very quietly. All earthly things above. Stop, she says, almost snapping. Sorry, I raise an apologetic hand, just thinking out loud. For me, a wedding is all about the music, the beautiful, wonderful music. This is untrue. I couldn't care less about music, and if Lottie were sharper, she'd instantly realize I'm winding her up. But she's looking away, lost in her own world. Are her eyes a little glassy? I always imagined you kneeling at the altar in a country church with the organ playing, I muse, rubbing it in. Not at a registry office. Funny, that. Yes, she doesn't even turn her head. I'm still humming the tune of I Vow to Thee My Country. Obviously, I don't know all the words, but the tune is enough. That's what'll get her. Her eyes are glassy. Okay, time to go in for the kill. Anyway, I break off from singing. The important thing is that this is your special day, and it's going to be perfect, nice and quick, no stupid fussing about with music or choir boys or bells pealing from a country steeple, just in and out. Sign a paper, say a couple of words, and you're done. For life, I add, finito. I feel almost cruel. I can see her bottom lip quivering very slightly. Do you remember the bridal scene in The Sound of Music? I add casually. When Maria walks up the aisle to the nun singing and her big, long veil floating everywhere. Don't overdo it, Fliss. I lapse into silence and sip my champagne, waiting. I can see Lottie's eyes flickering with thoughts. I can sense her inner battle between romance and lust. I think romance is just getting the edge. I think the violins are playing louder than the jungle drums. She looks as if she's coming to a decision. Please go the right way. Go on. Fliss. She looks at Fliss. Just call me the world champion, Brad Whisperer. There was no argument, no confrontation. Lottie thinks it was her idea to postpone. I was the one saying, "Are you sure, Lottie? Are you positive you want to call things off, really?" I've totally sold her on the idea of a country wedding with music and a choir and bells. She's already looked up the name of the chaplain at our old school. She's off on a new dream of satin and posies, and I vow to thee my country. Which is fine. A wedding is lovely. Marriage is lovely. Maybe Ben is destined to be her life partner, and I'll kick myself as she has her 10th grandchild and think, what was my problem? But at least this way gives her some breathing space. At least it gives her time to look at Ben and think, 60 more years with you. Is this a good idea? Lottie's gone off to the registry office to tell Ben the news. My work is done. The only task remaining is to buy her bride's magazine. We're gonna meet up for coffee tomorrow and have a cozy chat about veils, and then, in the evening, finally I'll get to meet Ben. I'm waiting to cross the King's Road, mentally congratulating myself for being so brilliant, when I see a face I recognize. Beaky nose, windswept dark hair, rose in his buttonhole. He's about 10 feet tall and is striding along the pavement on the other side with a kind of thunderous frown that you wear when your rich best friend has been grabbed by an evil gold digger and you've got to be best man. As he's walking, his rose suddenly falls out and he stops to pick it up. He's looking at it with such a murderous expression, I almost want to laugh. Well, wait till I tell him. What's his name again? Oh, yes, Lorcan. Hi! I wave frantically as he moves off. Lorcan, stop! His stride is so fast, I'll never catch up with him. He pauses and swivels round suspiciously, and I wave again to get his attention. Over here, me! I need to speak to you! I wait for him to cross, then approach him, brandishing my bouquet. I'm Fliss Graveney. We spoke yesterday, Lottie's sister. His face clears briefly. Then it's back to the cheery wedding day scowl. I suppose you're heading there now. I'd forgotten about the ridiculous movie trailer voice, although somehow it sounds less ridiculous when it's not a disembodied voice coming down a phone line. It matches his face, dark and kind of intense. Well, actually, I can't help sounding complacent. I'm not heading there because it's off. He stares at me in shock. What do you mean? It's off. For now, I add. Lottie's gone to postpone the wedding. Why? He demands. He's so bloody suspicious. So she can make sure Ben's fortune is invested in a way that makes it easy to plunder, I say with a shrug, obviously. Lorcan's face flickers with amusement. Okay, I deserve that. What's going on? Why is she postponing? I talked her out of it, I say proudly. I know my sister, and I know the power of suggestion. After our little chat, she wants a romantic wedding in a small stone church in the country. That's why she's postponing. My reasoning is, if they delay, at least it gives them a chance to see if they're right for each other. Well, thank goodness for that, Lorcan breathes out and runs a hand through his hair. Finally, his hackles are coming down. Finally, his brow is starting to relax. Ben is in no place to be getting married right now. It was nuts. Ridiculous, I agree. Insane. Stupidest idea ever. No, I take that back. I glanced down at myself. Putting me in a purple bridesmaid's dress was the stupidest idea ever. I think you look very nice. Another flicker of amusement passes across his face. He glances at his watch. What should I do? I'm supposed to be meeting Ben at the registry office by now. I think we should stay away. Agreed. There's a pause. This is weird, standing on a street corner all dressed up with no wedding to go to. I finger my bouquet awkwardly and wonder if I should throw it in the bin. It seems wrong somehow. Do you feel like a drink? Says Lorcan abruptly. I feel like a drink. I feel like about 6 drinks, I counter. It takes it out of you talking someone out of a wedding. Okay, let's do it. A man of swift decisions. I like that. He's already ushering me down a side street toward a bar with a striped canopy and French-looking tables and chairs. Hey, I assume your sister did call it off. Lorcan stops dead in the doorway. We're not going to get an irate text saying, where the hell are you? Nothing from Lottie. I check my phone. She was pretty determined to cancel. I'm sure she did. Nothing from Ben either. Lorcan's looking at his BlackBerry. I think we're in the clear. He ushers me to a corner table and opens the drinks menu. You want a glass of wine? I want a large gin and tonic. You've earned it. He gives that flicker of a smile again. I'll join you. He orders the drink, switches off his phone, and slips it into his pocket. A man who puts away his phone. I like that, too. So why is it a bad time for Ben to be getting married, I ask. In fact, who is this Ben? Fill me in. Ben. Lorcan's face twists wryly as though he doesn't know where to start. Ben. There's a long pause. Has he forgotten what his best friend is like? He's bright, inventive. He has a lot going for him. He sounds so strained and unconvincing. I stare at him. Do you realize you sound as if you were saying he's an ex-murderer? I did not. Lorcan looks caught out. You did. I've never seen anyone look so negative while they're trying to big up their friend. I put on a funereal voice. He's bright. He's inventive. He kills people in their sleep in inventive ways. Jesus, are you always this? Lorcan breaks off and sighs. Okay, I suppose I'm trying to protect him. He's in a difficult place, Ben. His father died. The company has an uncertain future, and he needs to decide which direction it's going in. He's a natural gambler, but he lacks judgment. It's difficult for him. He's having a bit of an early midlife crisis, I guess. An early midlife crisis. So perfect, just what Lottie needs. Not husband material then, I say, and Lorcan snorts. Maybe one day when he's got his shit together. Last month he was buying a cabin in Montana. Then he was going to buy a boat and sail in races. Before that, he was all about investing in vintage motorbikes. Next week, it'll be some other craze. My guess is he won't stay married 5 minutes. I'm afraid your sister will be the casualty. My heart is sinking fast. Well, thank goodness it's off. You did a good thing, he nods. Not least because we need Ben around. He can't go AWOL again. I screw up my eyes. What do you mean, AWOL again? Lorcan sighs. He did it once before. When his father became ill, disappeared for 10 days. There was a hell of a fuss. We got the police involved, everything. Then he reappeared. No apologies, no explanations. To this day, I don't know where he got to. The drinks arrive, and Lorcan raises his glass. Cheers to cancelled weddings. Cancelled weddings. I lift my own glass and take a delicious gulp of gin and tonic, then return to the subject of Ben. So, why is he having a midlife crisis? Lorcan hesitates as though he doesn't want to break his friend's confidence. Come on, I prod him, nearly related to him after all. I suppose so, he shrugs. I've known Ben since I was 13. We were at school together. My own parents are expats in Singapore, and I don't have any other family. I went to stay with Ben a couple of times in the holidays, and I became close to the whole family. Ben's dad and I share a love of hiking. Shared, I should say. He pauses, fingers clasped gently around his glass. Ben never came hiking with us. Not interested. And he never wanted to know about the family firm either. He saw it as this massive pressure. Everyone expected he'd join his father as soon as he left school, but it was the last thing he wanted to do. So how come you work for them? I joined a few years ago. Lorcan gives an odd little half smile. I was going through some personal stuff. I wanted to get out of London, so I went to stay with Ben's dad up in Staffordshire. At first, I was just planning to spend a few days there, go on some hikes, clear my head. But I started getting involved with the company, never left. Staffordshire, I say in surprise, but don't you live in London? We have offices in London, of course, he shrugs. I commute between the two, but I prefer being up there. It's a beautiful setting. The paper mills are set in a country estate. The offices are in the main house, the family home. It's grade 1 listed. Did you see that BBC series Heighton Hall? He adds, well, that's us. They shot there for 8 weeks. Little money spinner for us. Heighton Hall. I stare at him. Wow, that place is beautiful and massive. Lorcan nods. Lots of workers live in cottages on the estate. We do guided tours of the house, the mills, the woodland. We have local conservation projects. It's kind of special. His eyes have lit up. Right, I'm digesting all this. So, you started working for the company, but Ben wasn't interested? Not until his dad became ill and he had to face the fact he was going to inherit this thing, says Lorcan bluntly. Before that, he did everything he could to avoid it. He trained as an actor. He tried out stand-up comedy. It was him. I put my gin and tonic glass down with a tiny crash. I Googled him, and all I could find were stand-up comedy reviews, terrible ones. Was he that bad? Lorcan stirs his glass, his attention fixed on the remaining ice cubes. You can tell me. I lower my voice between us. Was he embarrassing? Lorcan isn't answering. Well, of course he isn't. He doesn't want to diss his best friend. I respect that. All right, I say after a moment's thought. Just answer me one thing. When I meet him, is he going to tell me jokes and I have to pretend they're funny? Watch out if he starts a riff on jeans. Alas, Lorcan looks up, his mouth twitching, and laughs. I'll be upset if you don't. Jeans. I make a mental note. Okay. Thanks for the warning. Is there anything positive to say about this guy? Oh, Lorcan seems shocked. Of course. When Ben's on form, believe me, there's no one you'd rather spend the evening with. He's charming. He's funny. I can understand why your sister would have fallen for him. When you meet him, you'll understand too. I take another gulp of my drink. I'm slowly starting to relax. Well, maybe he'll become my brother-in-law, but at least it won't happen today. Job done. I'll talk to Ben later. Lorcan nods. Make sure he doesn't get any stupid ideas. At once, I feel a tweak of irritation. I just said job done, didn't I? You don't have to talk to Ben, I say politely. I've already sorted it. There's no way Lottie will get married in a hurry now. I'd leave it. It can hurt. He looks unmoved, just to hammer the point home. Yes, it can. I plunk my drink down. Don't do any hammering. I've spent half an hour making Lottie think that pulling out of the wedding was her idea. I was subtle. I was careful. I didn't go rushing in like a hammerer. His face doesn't shift a millimeter. He's clearly a control freak. But so am I. And this is my sister. Don't talk to Ben. I command him leave it. Less is more. There's a pause. Then Lorcan shrugs and drains his drink without answering. I'm guessing he knows I'm right, but doesn't want to admit it. I finish my gin and tonic too. Then wait a beat, almost holding my breath. I'm hoping he suggests another drink, I realize. I only have an empty house to go to. No work, no plans. And the truth is, I like sitting here, sparring with this slightly too intense, slightly bad-tempered man. Another? He looks up and meets my eye, and I feel things shift between us a little. The first drink was like a coda to the whole affair. It was resolution. It was just being polite. This is more than polite. Yes, let's. See him again? I nod and watch as he summons the waiter and orders. Nice hands. Good strong jaw. Unhurried. Laconic mannerisms. He's a lot more appealing than his webpage gives away. Your website photo is terrible, I say abruptly as the waiter disappears. Really bad. Did you know that? Wow. Lorcan raises his eyebrows, looking taken aback. You're direct. Lucky I'm not vain. It's not about vanity, I shake my head. It's not that you're better looking in the flesh, it's that your personality is better. I'm looking at you, and I'm seeing a guy who makes time for people. A guy who puts away his phone, who listens. You're charming. In a way. In a way? He gives an incredulous laugh. But your photo doesn't say that. I ignore him. In your photo, you're scowling. You're giving out the message. Who the hell are you? What are you looking at? I haven't got time for this. You got all that from one website photo. I'm guessing you gave the photographer about 5 minutes and grumbled the whole time and checked your BlackBerry between every shot. Bad move. Lorcan seems a bit speechless, and I wonder if I've gone too far. Okay, of course I've gone too far. I don't even know the guy, and I'm critiquing his photo. Sorry, I backpedal. I can be blunt. No kidding. Feel free to be blunt back. I meet his eyes. I won't be offended. Fair enough, says Lorcan without missing a beat. That bridesmaid's dress is terrible on you. In spite of myself, I feel a flicker of hurt. I didn't think it was that bad. Earlier on, you said it looked very nice, I retaliate. I was lying. You look like a fruit pastille. Pastille? I guess I asked for it. Well, okay, maybe I do look like a fruit pastille. I can't resist making a little extra dig. But at least I don't have a picture of myself looking like a fruit pastille on my website. The waiter puts down 2 more gin and tonics, and I pick mine up, feeling a bit fired up after our exchange. I'm also wondering how we've got so far off topic. Maybe we should get back to the subject in hand. Did you hear about Lottie and Ben's no sex policy, by the way, I say? How ridiculous is that? Ben mentioned something. I thought he was joking. It's no joke. They're waiting till the wedding night. I shake my head. If you want my opinion, it's irresponsible to get married to someone without sleeping with them. It's asking for trouble. Interesting idea, Lorcan shrugs. Old-fashioned. I take a deep gulp. I'm feeling a need to offload my thoughts on the subject, and I can't exactly sound off to Noah. If you want my theory, I lean forward. It skewed their judgment. The whole thing is about sex. Lottie's lost in a cloud of lust. The longer she waits, the less she can think straight. I mean, I get it. I'm sure he's very hot, and she's longing to roll around with him, but does she have to marry him? It's cockeyed, Lorcan nods. That's what I said. They should just go to bed. Spend a week in bed, a month if they want to. Have a good time. Then see if they still want to marry each other. I take another massive gulp of my drink. I mean, you don't need to sign your life away just to have sex. I break off as a thought suddenly occurs to me. Are you married? Divorced. Me too, divorced. So, we know. About what? Sex. I realize that came out wrong. Marriage, I meant. Lorcan thinks for a moment, sipping his drink. The more I think back over the last few years, he says slowly, the less I feel I know about marriage. Sex, on the other hand, I would hope I've nailed. The gin has gone straight to my head. I can feel it buzzing around, loosening my tongue. I'm sure you have, I hear myself saying. The air seems to thicken in the silence. A little too late, I realize I've just told a total stranger that I'm sure he's good in bed. Do I backtrack? Qualify in some way? No, move on. I cast around for something anodyne, but it's Lorcan who speaks next. Since we're speaking frankly, have you found it? Your divorce? Total nightmare? Have I found my divorce a total nightmare? I open my mouth and draw in a deep, long breath, automatically reaching for the memory stick around my neck. Then I stop. Not bitter, Fliss, not bitter. Sweet. I need to think spun sugar, candy, flowers, fluffy lambs, Julie Andrews. Oh, you know, I give him a saccharine smile. These things happen. How long ago was it? Still happening, my smile broadens. Should be sorted soon. And you're smiling? He sounds incredulous. I like to be zen about it. I nod several times. Stay calm, move on, look on the bright side. Don't dwell. Wow. Lorcan's eyes have widened. I'm impressed. Mine was 4 years ago. Still hurts. That's a real pity, I managed. Poor you. My fake smile is nearly killing me. I want to ask him how it still hurts and what happened, and shall we compare ways in which our exes are total louses? I'm desperate to spill out all the details and talk incessantly about it until I hear from him what I need to hear, i.e., that I'm in the right about everything and Daniel is in the wrong, which no doubt is why Barnaby gave me a talking to. He's always right, bastard. So, shall I get some more drinks? I reach for my bag and hurriedly pull out my purse. Or, no. The purse flipped up as I tugged it out, and with it came the contents of my Durex variety pack, ribbed for extra pleasure, falls on the table, and a Pleasure Max lands in Lorcan's drink, splashing him in the face. A featherlight has fallen on top of our bowl of peanuts. Oh, I quickly start grabbing them. They were from my son's school project? Lurkin nods politely, retrieving the Pleasure Max from his drink and handing it to me. How old's your son? 7. 7? He looks scandalized. It's a long story. I wince as he hands me the dripping condom. Let me get you another drink. I'm so sorry. Automatically, I've started drying the Pleasure Max with a paper napkin. I'd probably chuck that one, says Lorcan, unless you're desperate. I glance up sharply. He looks deadpan, but there's something about his voice that makes me want to laugh. It's fine, I counter, waste not, want not. I stuff it back into my bag. Another gin, without the contraceptive garnish. I'll get them. He leans back, tilting his chair to signal at the waiter, and I find my eyes running over his long, lean body. I don't know if it's the gin or the frisson of having told him he's good in bed, or this whole weird situation, but I'm becoming a little fixated. I'm mapping myself onto him in my head bit by bit. What would those hands feel like on my skin? What would his hair feel like between my fingers? His jaw is faintly stubbled, which is good. I like friction, I like spark. That's what I'm feeling between us. The right kind of spark. I predict he's slow and determined in bed, focused. Takes sex as seriously as he takes fixing his friend's love life. Did I just say predict? What exactly am I thinking myself into here? As Lorcan lets the chair rest back on the ground, he looks at me and his eyelids flicker. He's thinking something too. His eyes keep skimming over my legs, and I casually shift in my seat so that my skirt rucks a little higher. I bet he leaves teeth marks. No idea why. I just feel it instinctively. I don't know what to say. I can't find any breezy conversational gambits in my head. I want to drink 2 more gins, I decide. 2 gins should do it, and then... So, I break the silence. So, Lorcan nods and adds casually, do you have to get back for your son? Not tonight. He's sleeping over at a friend's. And now he looks directly at me, and my throat is suddenly tight with longing. It's been too long, far too long. Not that I'll admit that to him. If he asks, I'll say casually, oh, I had a recent short-term relationship. That didn't work out. Easy, normal, not, I've been so alone, so stressed, I'm totally gagging for it. Not just the sex, but the touching and the intimacy and the feeling of another human being beside me, holding me. Even if it's only for a night or half a night or some portion of a night, that's what I won't say. A waitress comes up with our fresh drinks. She sets them down and then eyes my bouquet, followed by Lorcan's buttonhole. Oh, are you two getting married? I can't help bursting into laughter of all the questions. No, not at all. Definitely not, Lorcan affirms. Only we have a special champagne deal for wedding parties, she persists. We get so many, what with the registry office down the road. Are you being joined by the bride and groom? Actually, we're anti-marriage, I say. Our motto is, make love, not vows. Here's to that, Lorcan lifts his glass, his eyes glinting. The waitress looks from Lorcan to me, laughs uncertainly, then retreats. I down about half my glass. My head is gently spinning, and I feel another surge of longing. I'm imagining his lips on mine, his hands ripping off my dress. Oh gosh, get a grip, Fliss. He's probably imagining his bus home. I look away and stir my drink, playing for time. I can never stand this uncertain stage of meeting a man when you have no idea how things are going. You're chugging up the slow climb roller coaster of a date. You know how far up you are, but you don't know how far he is, or even if he's really with you. Maybe he's mentally heading in the other direction. Here I am, already midway through sexual fantasy number 53. But he could be about to wrap up politely and head home. Would you like to go somewhere else? Lorcan says abruptly. And my stomach lurches in anticipation. Somewhere else. Where? That would be great. Yes, I forced myself to sound low-key and chilled. What kind of place? He frowns deeply, attacking his ice cubes with his stirrer, as though he has no idea where to start tackling this profound and complex question. We could eat, he says finally with no enthusiasm. Sushi, maybe, or we could not eat. He looks up, his guard finally down, and I feel a delicious shiver. He's like a mirror image of me. He has a hungry look in his eye, a desperate longing. He wants to devour something, and I don't think it's sushi. That could work, he says, his eyes flicking to my legs again. Leg man, clearly. So where do you live? I ask lightly, as though it's a totally unrelated question. Not too far. His eyes are now locked on mine. Okay, we reach the top together. I can see the view stretching ahead. I can't help an exhilarated little smile. I think we're in for a good time.